guys, welcome back to my channel, Living Solo, Living Well. I'm Kat and I am a 64-year-old registered nurse. So lately I've been thinking about the videos that I've made on YouTube or made and posted on YouTube and how they've affected me or made me feel. And I wanted to talk about that today. So one of the things I've noticed about doing videos is after the first few, probably because I was really nervous to begin with, and after the first few videos, seeing myself on video, and that was tough at first, but then I got used to it. It's me, so I see myself every day in the mirror. So anyway, I learned to not really be embarrassed by mistakes that I've made, and I've actually kind of grown to like doing the videos, and I'm feeling mostly comfortable doing them. There are times that I might draw a blank and when I'm in the middle of talking, but lately one of the things I've thought about is that it makes me a little more confident in getting out and speaking in front of people. And so talking about my life, talking about all the different aspects, all the different topics that I've talked about. And I wondered how everybody else did. I wondered how you guys feel when you're making videos and when you watch them back, when you replay them. What are you thinking? Are you, initially I looked at my videos and I thought, oh, yuck, I have a lot of sinus stuff, so I hear that a lot when I'm talking or breathing, and that's just the way it is here in Tennessee. I can't help it. So, but there are some things that really irritated me so much at first about my videos, and I've just become accustomed to them, and I've not looked at things the same. I feel like it's given me the confidence boost that I've needed, because when you're older, it almost seems like you lose a little bit of confidence. Maybe for me, I've seen it in other people as well, because we become the older population and all the young ones are down below us coming up. So it's almost like we're left over, or we're the forgotten ones maybe. And I don't feel forgotten, but I almost feel like I'm entering into that age range. And I know that this sounds so bizarre probably, but sometimes it does something to your psyche. You're getting older, you're aging out of the system, your friends, they might be dying off. A lot of older people lose a lot of friends, a lot of family members. And so for me, it has given me a little boost of confidence to know that I can do this. And when I look at everybody else's videos, people in the same age range as me, it makes me think that if they can do these things and they're just an average Joe or an average Jane, they are just average everyday people, and they have taken to YouTube and they appear to be very confident. So it's made me feel more confident, and it's also made me feel like they're, not that YouTube is a big purpose in my life, but it's made me feel like I have a little bit of a purpose. The stories I've told about my injuries and my work injury, that has weighed, I can't tell you how heavily, on my mind in everyday life. Everything that I do, everywhere I go, I'm constantly reminded of the injuries. And there's a part of me that I want to say died with that, because I lost confidence. I was talked about at work. I was talked about because they said, "Oh, you look fine. Why are you on light duty? Why are you acting like you're injured? Because you look fine." And that takes away a little bit of confidence, because whereas prior to that, I was the great multitasker, and I could make split-second decisions. I could do all the things I needed to do to function with a full-time job and a lot of patients. And I'm just not able to do that anymore. I was not able to do that immediately after the fall. I couldn't even think straight. And so I feel like I lost a good bit of confidence, and made me kind of shrink down a little bit. And I guess I felt embarrassed for being injured, and I felt embarrassed for being wrongfully terminated. As you know, I won a lawsuit about that. And so that was years ago. And that also gave me confidence, because when I know I won that case, it's almost like I can do this now because I beat this big company. And but I feel like I lost a lot of that after I fell, and then it has taken me 4 years and some change to get beyond that. And so doing the YouTube videos has helped me to kind of find a purpose, and it's enjoyable. I don't have a lot of subscribers yet. I'm hoping that I will soon. And here comes my dog, my little doggy, but I don't have a big following, and that's okay. I've enjoyed making the videos, and I've enjoyed hopefully inspiring some of you on some topics, whatever they are, with some of the videos that I've done. But it makes me feel like maybe I'm serving a purpose, because there might be that one person that needs to hear something from the video, and they heard it and it's changed something for them. Maybe I'm hoping that's the case. But I wondered how you all feel when you've made videos, if you've made videos, and what it's done for you. Have you thought, oh my gosh, I can't do this because it's too embarrassing, or I might make a mistake, or I'm too nervous. I get nervous too, and when I watch the videos back, and I try not to say frequently. I took speech communication many years ago, several courses in that, and I tried to hone my skills to where I could speak without saying very much at all. I know I do say it. I have, here it was. I look back at the videos, I watch them, and I think, oh, I've got to change this, I've got to change that. But I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to be me, and if it comes out, it comes out. But I feel like it's kind of changed me a little bit. It's made me feel, making the videos and talking about YouTube and viewership and just all the different topics has made me feel like I have something to give to society. I started watching YouTube many years ago, but I didn't understand the full impact of it. I knew that I could go on YouTube and watch videos about how to repair things. And I've done that. I've used that resource many, many times. I've done searches. It is one of the second largest search engine, I believe, next to Google, I believe. So I may be wrong on that, but I think that's the case. But anyway, I feel like being able to open up and talk to the camera, to you guys, has helped me come out of my shell after I had the injuries, because I felt, less than, and I felt worthless. And, a lot of times trying to get employment as an injured nurse, people want you to be able to work as a nurse. If you can't perform your duties as a nurse, they're probably not going to hire you. So it's very difficult to find the right kind of job for my limitations or my restrictions. And thankfully at this point, I found one that's very accommodating. And so I thoroughly enjoy it, and it is sedentary, and I'm allowed to work just 4 hours a day, a few days a week. So that's one of the benefits of doing the videos, is I feel like I've developed a little more confidence and a little more, what is it? I believe in myself, I guess you could say. I was trying to find the answer up in my mind. I believe in myself, and I never had any problem before, but I did, like I said, immediately, and, continued after the injuries. And so I feel like this has gotten me kind of out of this slump that I'd been in, and this kind of a shell that I was hiding behind, because I felt worthless. I felt like I was dried up. I'm just all dried up. And going from working full-time, hard as you can, doing a great job, to boom, you can't do it anymore. You know, it took a big hit on my psyche. And not to mention the injuries and the brain injury and the other issues. But I feel like I have had this little bit of re-energizing, maybe, if you will, from making the YouTube videos. My videos are just basic. I don't think they're anything special, but they might hit somebody. There might be some information somebody needs or hears, and then, you know, it hits them in the right spot where they feel like that might be something they can benefit from. And the other day I had a new subscriber that had said, I'm so glad I found your channel. I love your channel. And I'm just like, what? I'm glad. I'm thrilled to pieces. Thank you so much, whoever that was that said that. But, you know, it does make you feel like, oh, okay, apparently somebody liked what I had to say. And so maybe the benefit to them is something that'll help in their life. Maybe they'll get started on YouTube. You know, maybe hearing me, I did a video on YouTube, like, don't put it off, just do it, or something like that. And that's how it was for me. I had to get through the process of being afraid, and then being humiliated, being embarrassed, all the different feelings you go through. And I had to get through all of that myself to get to this point. So I feel like if I had to, there were others as well. You know, we're all dealing with the same kind of insecurities to a degree. And so I'm hoping that just me getting up here speaking and, you know, saying some stuff, talking about my life and experiences, that maybe somebody will get a boost out of that, to where it kind of sets you on fire to where you want to do videos or you want to talk about things. You know, every video I've looked at from older folks that are in my age range or older, and there are many that are older in their 70s and 80s. There was a 100-year-old woman, I watched a video from her one day, and I can't remember who it was, but it was amazing at that age. That's 40 years older than me, 35 years older than me. And, you know, if I think, oh, I'm tired, or I can't sit up and do this video, or it changes my mind, because if I'm, you know, 35 years younger than this person and she's out there kicking it, I feel like I just need to shut up and I just need to do it. And so I kind of have taken that mindset, and what I've been doing is I've been making or recording, I try anyway, 3 videos a week. And a lot of times I'll do them in one sitting. I might change my top or something, but sometimes I'll do 3 videos in a week, and then I can strategically publish them according to when I want them to go public. So far, I think I've got 50 something or 60 videos. I'm not quite sure, but I did notice I had several more subscribers, and that thrills the fire out of me, because when I look and I happen to see another new subscriber, it's like, oh, this is great. Somebody liked what I had to say. And but all these videos of these older folks that I've been watching, they're just talking about their lives. They're not talking about anything spectacular. A lot of them are doing videos on instructing you what to do to make a YouTube video. And I don't feel qualified yet to do that, other than just a few basic things. But I'm certainly happy to help someone if you had a question in the comments below. But I don't feel like I am the expert on YouTube to be able to instruct somebody on how to set up a YouTube channel and get going and what to talk about. You know, I feel like I know some stuff, but I don't know a ton of stuff. And I'm learning as I go. It is just a learning process. But I feel like it has taken me out of my comfort zone. And so my comfort zone boundaries are stretching further and further. You know, it used to be I'd kind of panic, like, where am I going to sit for the video? What am I going to wear? What am I going to say? And I've kind of gotten past that fear of the details. And sometimes I'll just get on and I'll just start talking. Like right now, I'm just talking about the benefit that help, the things that it's helped me with. And I have found that I feel more self-confident. I look forward to making the videos and talking about things and seeing what anybody comments. I love looking at comments, and I really enjoy this. I would like it to be a normal part of my every week. I'd like to continue this and keep it going. Another video I talked about just the financial difficulties and things that I've been going through since I had that fall. And I feel like if somebody wants to hear that, great. Maybe somebody's going through that same situation, but I feel like I want to do this the rest of my life, regardless of if I make a living from it. If that were to happen, that would be icing on the cake. And I just think that would be a good thing, but that's in the future. I have no idea what's going to happen or how many subscribers I'll have or if I ever get monetized. I don't know. But I'm not doing this for the singular goal of monetization. I'm doing it because it's helped me to get from one point that I was at not a great point. I was down in the slumps and what have you, but it's helped pull me back up. And because of this, I've also started writing a book, a memoir. And that, I gotta say, is very interesting, because I think I'm at about 100 pages, give or take, right now. And I kind of stepped away from it for a little bit just to kind of get, it wasn't a writer's block. It was just I needed to step away. I had some other things coming up, and then I just haven't gotten back to it, but I will. But the thing that has taught me, I did a memoir, so it's obviously things from growing up to now. And there was a lot of trauma, a lot of different situations that I didn't have the best childhood. And reading over everything, whether it was high school boyfriends or, whatever, it made me relive those instances, and it kind of brought a therapeutic aspect to it. I wasn't like very traumatized. I wasn't just this terrible traumatization from childhood, but there were things that, you question when you're young, you don't know, but when you look back at all these things I put in my book, it's almost like it's a therapeutic activity that's helped me to maybe move past those things. I know I did some crying when I read the book, when I read the parts I wrote, just proofreading, and I actually teared up, and I thought, wow, this was totally unexpected that I would respond that way or react that way. And anyway, so it's kind of like the YouTube, the benefits of YouTube. The benefit of writing that book, I had to dig deep inside myself to bring up these things and face them. And, not that they were all traumatic, but when you're young and something happens, it's kind of traumatic to you then. It didn't change my life, but there were things that affected me back then. I had my dad was an alcoholic, for example, and I did not become close with people except very few friends because I didn't invite them over because I didn't know if my dad was going to be loud, come home drunk. And so I tended to keep my friends at a distance, and I only had very few of them. I had very close friends, but very few. And that's carried over into my adult life. So when I wrote that part of the book, or, was getting, all the memories were coming in and I was putting them down, that made me look at, that's why I am the way I am now. So looking back at these situations, I see now why I'm this way. Whatever way I am, why I'm this way, I see that things were carried over into my adult life from my childhood experiences. That's normal for people, but there are times I've wondered why about certain things, and I can look back now since I've, started the book, I can look back and say, oh my gosh, that was something that's affected me nowadays as a grown adult. Even when I was in my 30s or 40s, I still now see that that's why those things were that way, because of how my childhood was. And if you're noticing, I do talk with my hands. They're down here, but if you see my arms moving, I gesture a lot, so gesticulating. And anyway, I just wanted to talk about how cathartic it is to do a video on YouTube and how it's kind of changed my mindset on some things. So if you're thinking about getting started on YouTube, you got to just do it. Feel free to comment below, ask questions if you want. I'm not the expert by any means, but I finally got brave enough to record myself and make videos. So I was talking to my grandson, I was texting with my grandson the other day. He will be 16 in October. And I said, I have a YouTube channel now. And he said, oh, really? And I said, yeah, Nana, your Nana is a YouTuber. And he said years ago, he wanted to be a YouTuber when he grew up. And I was like, why? That'd be a slacker. And so now I understand why he said that comment years ago. He was probably 10, I think. And the fact that, well, not the fact that, but when I told him, Nana's a YouTuber, you have a Nana that's a YouTuber, and he's like, cool. And so he said, I said, here's the name of my channel. And he said, I'll check it out, Nana. And I said, okay. So there's something about that. I wasn't going to tell him yet that I had a YouTube channel, but for some reason I just went ahead and, I have one sister that I've told and the other 3 don't know. I'm not really close with 2 of the other 3. So anyway, talking about all of this and making my YouTube channel and making these videos, it kind of helps you to put things into perspective. And I would really, really encourage you to, if you're thinking about it and you're on the fence, just do it. You will find out after several videos that it's almost like I said, a therapy. It's therapeutic to a degree. And I know that I've heard other people say that, but I actually, you don't believe it. You're like, how's it therapeutic? It really is, for me anyway. And I feel like I'm opening up more and becoming, who I really am, maybe, by talking about the things that are important to me, that are meaningful and that have some bearing on my life. So I would just encourage you guys to get going and make that first video, post it. It does not have to be perfect. My goal is to not have to edit any videos, mainly because it's time consuming and I just don't want to, I have trouble with my vision. So to have to sit and stare at the computer and do certain things to edit, sometimes it's difficult. And if I can't figure it out because I can't really see that well, it makes me frustrated. And so I'd rather not have to deal with it. So that's my goal, is to not have to edit any videos. So what you see is what you get. So anyway, please think about it. If you're going to, debate or contemplate doing it, just do it. Just like Nike, just do it. And I wish you a lot of success, and I'll see you on the next video.